because I've actually been doing all right today on this whole recording thing. We've been
good.
It's been successful so far. So what's going on, man?
You've been busy, eh?
Yeah, today's been a fun one. Marathon Monday, we've just been awesome AMA after AMA. I've had some great chats. I mean, I've yet to have a bad one today, so that's a good start. That's a good start.
Hopefully that keep that going.
Yeah, we'll keep the streak going, right? Yeah, just kind of catching up a little bit on the Guitar Girls stuff. I should say something quickly while people are in here. Yeah, this is a really shitty scenario. Yeah, one of those things where it's tough because there's so much art out there that we don't quite have the technology yet to be able to, reverse image search everything and come up with proper results. But it does showcase the due diligence that we have to do in projects. I think there's a real aspect to if projects won't do AMAs and won't do live chats, won't do video, there's red flags. And I think now going forward, we got to pay attention to that stuff. It sucks. I feel horrible for everybody involved. We in the community will be trying to do all we can to make sure that everybody gets something out of this. And I have a ton of faith in the community that'll be able to do that. But luckily for me, I didn't get involved. I almost did. I almost FOMO'd. I almost fucking FOMO'd, man. So close. When I seen that Riot goal go for 1,900, and I've been watching them go for 400, 500, 600, and it was like, oh, this might be time to pull the trigger. And I didn't, and I don't know what it was, but yeah, sure enough, this all came out. I knew the way she handled it immediately was not good. Yeah, it sucks. I can say I appreciate everybody that, so there was a little bit of fighting going on Twitter. I think everybody's seen that last couple days, but, cooler heads have prevailed as of today. I've been seeing some apologies getting pushed around today. So I got mad respect for anybody that is holding the bag. Obviously, it sucks, and you would love to be able to get some fanties back on this, but, yeah, it's cool to see people burning their NFTs, and like really letting the community know that like, hey, we don't stand for this. But anyways, that's my Guitar Girl statement. It's a little wishy-washy, but that's it.
Yeah, that sucked.
Oh, did I say Riot Girls? Sorry, I meant Guitar Girls. We love Elle.
Yeah, I'm just
gonna keep harassing Elle now because she still won't do an AMA with me, and it's all for good reasons. That girl's actually busy doing shit. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna keep harassing her that she just copy and pastes and puts everything through a pixel generator. All right, so let's get into Fantom Heroes.
Shit.
I don't know a whole lot about this project, to be honest. I've seen some images, but I don't know much about your roadmap, supply, price, anything like that. So let's start with the basics. So let's go with a supply, a price, and then a potential of when we're minting.
Gotcha. So we're doing 3 mint dates of about 1,000. We wanted to kind of split it up over 3 time zones and over months, just to make sure that anyone that came in late would still get.
All right, a forced slow mint. I like this.
Yes. We realized that Gen Zeros. I guess it's kind of hard to understand what Gen Zeros are, the full context, but it is a breeding game, and so Gen Zeros are like the purebred heroes, and so they would be in the highest demand. And so there'll be overall of Gen Zero supply of 3,000. These will be minted at 33 Fantom for public sale, and then we had a whitelist in our Discord. It's not like a limited pre-sale whitelist. It just gives you a discount if you wanted to join our community a bit early.
Yep.
And yeah, so about 3,000 at 25 to 33 Fantom.
Okay. And then how soon are we potentially minting?
In about 25 hours. So the first mint will happen March 1st, 7 p.m. EST.
March 1st, 7 p.m. All right. Okay, so let's get into this is a breeding game. So are we talking like a CryptoKitties? Let's get into the breeding mechanism a little bit.
Yeah, very similar mechanisms to CryptoKitties in terms of genetics. So each hero will be, when you're minted, will have 16 genes, 8 phenotypes, 8 genotypes. The 8 phenotypes obviously being like the visual traits that you see on the hero, and then 8 underlying traits that are kind of used in the game. So it'd be like charisma, strength, speed. These would kind of give you advantages in different kind of P2E games that we'll be running. And so when you were to breed, we call it hero forging, because it's kind of weird because it's all male heroes. We don't want to use the word breeding, but you'll grab weird. Yeah, exactly. We'll grab like a 50-50 of both the parents' genetics to create the new hero. This will be a Gen 1 if 2 Gen 0s are minted together, and so the generation will be based off of the later generations. So if you have like a Gen 3 and a Gen 2, you'd create a Gen 4. So I think it's the exact same as CryptoKitties in terms of how the generations are created.
Yep.
And so there is a chance of mutations. So that's kind of more of like the interesting factors that every time you do forge a new hero, there's a chance that one of the 16 genes will be not from either of the parents, and so you can introduce new genes to the pool.
Okay.
This way we kind of we didn't really like the idea of like a static NFT for this type of project, because we don't want you to get like a jacked up hero that you think is really ugly. And so you can actually keep trying to breed your current heroes to get the one that you think is, your own aesthetic. Or if you don't care about aesthetic and you just care about power, you could focus strictly on upgrading to that way.
So this is also, there's a game aspect to this as well.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. So
let me drop you my good books.
Yes. Okay. So we got 3,000 we're going to breed. We get into the generations. I have a little bit of an understanding of the breeding stuff because of, I've got a Zed run stable. I know a little bit about the CryptoKitties, but the Zed run I did a bunch of breeding and stuff.
Okay.
So I kind of get how the generations and stuff work. Now, with your breed, how is the forging work? Do I choose 2 of my NFTs to forge, or can I forge with somebody else's NFT?
Yeah, so we have this thing called Hero Genesis. So it allows you to, let's say you have, so it's all like a forced thing. If you can't just, forge with any NFT you want.
Yep.
People can list their NFTs that they have with, with either specific unique traits that maybe you'd want, and you could put a bid on to breed with someone else's NFT.
So it's basically like putting your male horse up for stud kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so in order to kind of, make the generations move forward, every hero has like a limit of how many times they can be forged with, the price increasing incrementally. And this kind of allows not just one person that would have an extremely strong hero to just continuously breed it and make this incredibly powerful team that is like undestructible, just really strong genes.
Yep.
And so that kind of works with the way you can sell your allow other people to breed with it too. That kind of counts towards that count. Okay.
This is cool. So I really like breeding. I like breeding games because there's a lot of different aspects to it. There's the idea that you can hold the NFTs. If you get good at this stuff and like you pay attention to it, I know with Zed Run, like you follow bloodlines and all this stuff. And you can like legitimately like breed like champion horses, and they go for crazy money. And then there's the idea of like the Genesis horses, just always hold fucking insane value, because as you get through to these generation 250, sometimes it's nice. The bloodline just gets so fucking messed up that you want to get back to like a nice clean bloodline.
Exactly.
So then, let's talk about the studding kind of thing. I'm gonna think about this as like putting a horse up. When I put my horse up for stud, or put my hero up, am I paying a fee to put my hero up, or am I just putting it up and then you said they're gonna bid on breeding with my hero?
Exactly. So since it counts as the same, you have your 10 or 11 times that you can breed every single hero. You don't want anyone to just continuously breed with it. So it kind of gives you that power to choose who you want to breed with your hero.
Right.
And so this is kind of an earning mechanism that's built into the game, where if you do have a hero that you like and you want to put it up for, say, studding, people would pay you either in hero tokens, which we'll get into as our tokenomics, or through Fantom, or through some other, through like trading heroes. So really you can decide what you want other people to breed with it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. are there naming rights to heroes?
What do you mean?
Like, do I get to change the name of my hero and nobody else gets to use names?
So we haven't actually considered naming your heroes.
Okay.
It is something that's in the works, but we've been thinking of kind of how we'd want to implement that, if it would be like a limited thing that we could do through some other alleyway, or if we wanted to just be something you buy with hero tokens and then you lock in that name.
Okay. Okay, so we got 3,000 pieces going up for mint on the first at 7. It's gonna be 1,000 each mint, and you're saying they're gonna be spread out over like a week?
Yeah, so we'll have 1,000 on March 1st, 1,000 on April 1st.
Oh,
and then
nice.
yeah, so we actually have, if you look on our website, it has all of the different games that we're going to be launching, and those have different dates. And so we kind of want people to stake their heroes initially to kind of gain those hero tokens before we fully launch the game, so that people can instantly start using them. Mm-hmm. Pull up the site as well. Did the link to the site?
Yeah. Let's drop it right here. Yeah, so the website looks great. Hero Forge, Lone Hero. I see P to E games. We have Battle, Showdown Battle, Quest. You got a marketplace. You got your own marketplace. That's fucking bullish. I see you got a rarity tool on your site. Battle Arena. The Battle Arena will be where you stake your heroes. For each hero staked, you earn hero tokens daily. The current minimum staking period, 72 hours. Hero tokens can be used to train your hero, forge new generations of hero, and can be used in games. Oh, very cool. All right, Hero Forge. The Forge allows you to perform hero genesis, creating a new hero NFT by forging the genes of 2 of your own heroes. Each hero can only be used in forging 11 times. Hero tokens are required to forge new heroes. The more you forge the same hero, the more expensive it will cost, and you can sell your forged heroes to other players. Forged heroes can be used in games. As more heroes are forged, lower generations will become more rare. Loan your heroes. Earn FTM by loaning out your hero for other people to forge with. Add to the genome pool by putting your heroes up for forging. You set the price of how much another player has to pay to use it. Yeah, love this. Love it. It's very much got a Zed Run feel to it, and I like that a lot because I know there's people that play that game very differently. Like, there's people who just breed, literally don't do any battles, don't do any races, nothing. They just fucking breed wicked horses.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I do like that idea. And then you get people that might just be trying to stack hero token. I'm bullish. All right, let's get into the art. Who's your artist?
So our artist is a guy named Randy. We've asked him multiple times if he wanted to create a Twitter and kind of go public.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really responded yet.
Yeah.
So when we initially were trying to do this art, we kind of reached out to dozens of people on different platforms, so like DeviantArt, friends of friends, mutual friends, and we kind of just asked them all to make the exact same 5 heroes that we had in mind. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of just going through a bunch of them and found the ones that we liked the most.
Yeah. No, very cool. All right, so let's just talk about the NFT space a little bit. What excites you the most about the NFT space and the technology behind it?
Yeah, so I think it's really cool just to feel like you're early on something. Like, I feel like our generation kind of missed the whole Web 1, Web 2 booms, and I feel like we're at that point now where we're early in the NFT boom. So when I speak with friends and family that don't fully understand blockchain technology, and they kind of just are so locked in on Bored Apes, all they see on the news is just these useless famous JPEGs that are making millionaires richer.
Yeah,
they don't fully understand it. And so when we were looking through different communities to join, obviously the first thing when you're new to space is to go to Ethereum. And all you realize, you join a group, you get 90 DMs a minute of different people shilling the same roadmaps over and over again. And then we finally came to Fantom. It was the only place that people instantly just instead of a DM from a bot when you join, you get an actual human messaging you, and it just felt so personable. and like we just instantly fell in love.
No, I love it. Where do you want to see the NFT space go, like going forward? Like, what do you think the next like innovation in the space would be?
So I think the obvious answer's got to be, a big metaverse. I think is where we all want to kind of see it go. A metaverse of metaverses. I don't really want to see like one company be able to just create a metaverse and dominate the space. I like the idea of like a realm of multiple metaverses, so you can kind of have different experiences in each one. So I think that's where it's going, and I see the appeal of both PFP and utility-based NFTs, and I think there's going to be room for both of them. I just think that eventually, even in the metaverse, PFPs will be a thing. Some kind of 3D iteration of them.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I think just being able to have your own community visualized in metaverse will definitely be where I want NFTs to go. Kind of owning something outside of a wallet and like a visual representation that other people can interact with seems really cool.
Yeah, well, that's I forget who I was talking to about, but that was part of the concept of maybe it was Limit Break, but there's an aspect to I think part of me just wants the physical. Like I want a physical with my NFT so much because there's just not cool enough ways to display my digital in the physical. So right now, artists are trying to tie their physical goods in with digital NFTs. But I think as like the tech just naturally starts to show up, where all of a sudden, like we're legitimately gonna get to the point where you are basically gonna like paint a wall, and the fucking paint that you use is gonna be like little LED fucking things, and it's gonna make a screen.
Yeah,
and that'll be a display. I've seen guys make these like dope fucking coffee tables, like a 2-tier coffee table where the middle tier is a screen, so you're looking through the glass at your NFTs. So I mean that shit is all coming. I mean we're starting to get into screens on the wall that are kind of minimalist and whatnot. So I definitely agree with you there.
So would you want that to connect somehow to your wallet, or do you care? Do you want like a ledger wallet that would be connected visually, that would show kind of NFTs, or do you care if you have a downloaded JPEG of your NFT that you can put up on
That's
a certain...
interesting. What I'm wondering is if I could, if there could be like a transaction with my table. Maybe my table is a wallet itself, and I can like sign a transaction or something that where the like the NFT will stay in my wallet. No, it doesn't get locked into any kind of contract or anything like that. But then I can still like display that piece, and then if somebody happened to see that piece, like if you had friends and family over and they seen that, and there'd be a little QR code somewhere where they could scan that and see that it's in my wallet.
Huh. Yeah, I think that would be sweet.
But it gets super interesting. Like I've seen you start getting like the billboard ideas, or like AR technology. I think AR gets super interesting when you can just turn reality into a metaverse.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. It's just like just waking up. I know there's some guy that did some challenge where he slept with the VR headset on to like try to immerse himself in this world.
Yeah.
And he just said it just was so like, it's just so interesting. Just the idea of being kind of two places at once almost.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. All right, so we got into NFTs, and you already kind of gave me the answer on why Fantom. Let's talk about what projects and artists that you look up to in the space.
Oh man, there's so many. Like I feel like just in the last 2 months, I've been like fully immersed in this space. There's so many products that I've been looking up to. I think the biggest one, and then not to, in terms of I guess PFPs would be Potluck. I think obviously that's, I'm not pandering, but like truly I think the community driven idea of Potluck is something that kind of shows that. I think your Twitter was a good example. It's kind of just like, it's kind of like when you lost your Twitter and then you just like nothing changed because everything that you guys do is community driven.
Yep.
It's not like you guys are transactional. You give back to people that support you, and so that part is kind of how we're trying to drive our community. And I feel like everything comes back to all of our mint price, our supply was all voted by our community.
Yep.
And so we love the idea of putting community first. And
No,
in terms of like,
yeah, I do love that. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to hear that because there's aspects of like, there's that moment of like I'm shitting myself, going like, oh, what the fuck? I'm not on Twitter anymore. Like what? This is my livelihood now. Like what the fuck am I supposed to do? But then to see the community kind of band together, it was really cool. I tweeted about it before where it's like there's these moments where I've been 99% NFTs for like way too long now. Been called crazy for 8 months already. So there's nice moments where like all of a sudden, the DeFi people are getting into NFTs and NFTs start popping where it's like you got that little good feeling. And then all of a sudden I had that good feeling. I tweet about NFTs are I'm comfy being 99% NFTs, and then sure enough, I fucking get banned. But it was more so the talk of like, I mentioned the idea of storing wealth in community. I've made a fuck ton of money off NFTs. I've sold 3 Uman pieces for $450,000 in total, I think. Yeah, right around there. And like every dime of that went right back into the ecosystem. So there's the idea that it is very much I store wealth in community, and on a night like that where it's like, oh shit, in a moment's notice I thought my community was removed from me, very quickly showed up and went, no, we're here for you. And it was really cool sitting back for the moment because I could access the Twitter account. I just couldn't do anything from it. So then for about a half hour, I'm kind of watching my Twitter funeral happen live, which was so fucking funny to sit here and not be able to interact with anybody, but I'm just watching it happen. But yeah, it's some cool shit with the fan community. So I do appreciate you calling out Potluck for that. That is it was a big moment for me personally because I can genuinely say that there was a good 15 minutes where I was going like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, holy shit. Funny that, we've now figured out who this all was. It's these fucking scammers.
Oh man.
Yeah, but goddamn, what a story, eh? This whole Guitar Girls thing. I can't believe that's all intertwined. Guitar Girls, Bushido, the copy paste Bored Ape, Bit Cats, or 8-Bit Cats. Like
this month particularly seems to be popular.
It's the fucking same team. That's why it's been the same team.
I didn't know that.
It's the same people launching 8 different projects. It's all the same wallet. That's what this all came down to. So then when they got called out for, hey, this is all the same wallet, that's when homie came in here just going AWOL and was just saying like,
was that the guy? The 4K guy?
So that Stephen J guy or whatever is Crypto Man on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's same person. Yeah. So it's that motherfucker that got us jacked. Because I was on a call with Voodoo and Voodoo's kind of waiting for his banning now. Because I guess Voodoo this round was calling him out. So now Voodoo's expecting to get banned this round. Because on the last round, it was me calling them out for the Bored Ape shit. Because then all the marketplaces started saying, oh, we're not going to list it. So that's when these guys went, oh, you're not fucking Web 3. That's some Web 1 stuff.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, that's that whole debacle.
That's frustrating.
All right, let's keep going. Fantom Heroes. Actually, no. We're kind of done with the Fantom Heroes. I want to know you now. You have any pets growing up?
Yeah, so I had two big Newfoundlands growing up.
Oh, shit.
Most of my life. They're beautiful, like the nicest, friendliest animals you'll ever have. Then we moved away from that. It's kind of a lot. They're big dogs. They take a lot of energy.
Yep.
And we moved to like a little cabochon that we have right now. Cute pup.
Okay. Favorite meal on like a Wednesday? Your home cooked meal on like a Wednesday night, a Sunday night, versus your go out meal on a Friday, Saturday night.
So there's this thing my parents have made. It's like a family recipe. It's called chicken divan, and it's nothing crazy. It's like broccoli, rice, and like a cheese parmesan sauce
Mm.
and chicken, and it's like the best thing that I'll ever have on a Wednesday. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's
All
just
right.
like nostalgic,
All right.
but it's so good, so good.
Little mama home cooking. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. And then in terms of a Saturday night, I can't go wrong with all you can eat sushi. It seems to be always my go-to. Just all you can eat Japanese.
Fuck it.
Will always be
I
my-
haven't done that in a while. That's you got my stomach going a little bit here.
Oh, it's so good, so good.
You a drinker at all? If so, what's the drink of choice?
I'm a big beer guy. I finish a beer every night after work.
What's the go-to bottle?
So if I'm just drinking to drink a lot, probably just something basic like a Moosehead.
Yeah.
But if I'm going all out on a weekend, then it's probably IPAs. I'm a big Matt Tom fan. I don't know
nice.
if you've had any Amsterdam Ale.
Yeah, I like. I've really gotten into the IPAs.
Yeah.
Maybe I was living in a kind of hipster city maybe 2 years ago, and a bunch of the bars right in the downtown core were all these little
Right.
like microbreweries. So that's when I got into just flights. Every time I go in, I just get a flight of fucking 6 different things. So really got into the IPAs doing that.
That's the thing with IPAs. Like I couldn't tell you my favorites off the top of my head because every time I go out, it's a different one.
It's a different one. Sometimes it's some fucking big dirty brown thing, and sometimes it's like some fruity, like citrusy thing.
The range is nuts. So good.
But I'm a big wine guy. I've been on a wine binge lately.
Really, I don't know why I couldn't picture you as a wine guy.
Yeah, red wine. I'm just a sucker for it. Cheap red wine. It's got to be a $8 Portuguese bottle.
Are you eating it with dinner? Or are you eating it like?
Yeah. So
you're
actually,
beside you right now?
so growing up, I grew up with my grandparents quite a bit, and my grandfather did concrete till he was, I was on a job site with him 5 years ago, so he was probably 80 when he stopped doing concrete. He would have a glass of wine, a glass of red wine, and a full clove of garlic with dinner every fucking night. And dude still to this day 90 shredded. So I was just like, I gotta follow along with what this guy does. So
Yep.
I don't eat the clove of garlic. I'm not at that level. But I load up most of my food with a bunch of garlic, and I try to have a glass of wine with every dinner, and that usually ends up into a couple glasses after dinner.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So is this I guess this is your full-time job?
Yeah.
Alcoholic?
Yeah,
And-
so I made the jump, would have been December. So maybe November I was starting to become pretty inefficient at work. I was noticing that, one, I was just losing money by going to work. Because I was realizing like, if I was just sitting in front of the screen and made this one trade at this time, I'd be up, 10 grand. And that's 3 months of my fucking labor.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was starting to become a little inefficient at work. Was really getting to the idea of like, I got to make this jump sometime soon. I got an old 99 Jeep TJ, beat to shit. I love it. It's beat to shit though. And I was doing an hour and a half commute down to the city. Thing was just guzzling gas, not enjoying the drive, or all the drives every day now. Early December, it broke down for about a week. Got it fixed. Then literally like 2 weeks later, it was like just after Christmas, it fucking went down again. I was 15 minutes from work when it broke down. And this one was like a good one. Like engine was smoking, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't a good one. Got back to the shop. The shop happened to just not look at it for a week. So for a week, I sat at home, basically just did crypto shit, NFT stuff. And then the shop got back to me, and we're like, okay, we finally looked at this thing. It's probably not worth fixing it.
Yep.
So now I'm a week into doing this crypto thing. The Jeep is now broken. I'm like, oh, well, I have to get a whole new vehicle to then go to my fucking job to not make the money that I'm making doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
So that was the moment. It was just like, all right, I'm not going back to work anymore. So I worked out a deal with my old man. because it was like I gotta buy a vehicle, but I don't want to be pulling my crypto out right now. Let's fucking finance something. Let's take that cheap money from the bank. So we financed. I got a 2012 Elantra. It was like $6,000. Just put it on financing, but then now the family's going on vacation. So it was like right during the big NFT bull run here that we had a couple weeks ago, maybe when all the fucking volume happened. I got a notification that like, oh, we're gonna pay off the financing on the car. So it's like, okay, I'll pull $6,000 out. Didn't have any liquidity at the time, so I went to go clear some liquidity. And just in a bit of a panic of like, fuck, I need $6,000 today. Like, god damn it. Went and listed some shit, and like, all of a sudden had way too much liquidity in my account. And it's like, fuck, I gotta go shopping again. Yeah. I went back and did a bunch of NFT shopping.
Nice. But
it was a cool moment for me where it was just like, this shit's real. Like, it's funny because I'm still 99% NFT. Like, I can show you my MetaMask right now. Literally has 7 Fantom in it. I'm 99%. I'm 99% NFTs. Always am.
I saw on your stream. I think it was 4,500 or something right now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's stupid. But that's the idea. Like, now it's cool that, you know, when needed, we can liquidate some assets and get some coin. But
exactly.
But it is that idea of, you know, storing wealth in community as Limit set up there. That's kind of 100%. Just what I've done. And now these cool little moments like the Twitter thing where it's just like, yeah, this is filling those convictions that I had. Yeah, all right, let's get into. Did you do college, university at all?
Yeah, so I did my bachelor's in commerce and then focus in accounting. And so my main team, so I have 2 other developers that I work with. They're both we went to university together, and then they're both in software engineering. So they handle all of the validity contract code, and I'm more of the community front facing.
Nice. So I guess in total there's 4 of you, including the artist?
3 of us. 4 including the artist.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. What else do we want? Well, I guess your college, university. How any cool stories? Any fun stories for us? I know. I wasn't the greatest student when I came to college, university. Was playing baseball. Well, tried to play baseball my first year, but because I was on the baseball team, got all the cool perks of, you know, getting to the bar whenever I wanted to, and there was some fun college perks to that for sure.
Yeah, no, I kind of wish I had that advantage because I was on the varsity team for about 4 days. The first varsity soccer game, don't remember what happened. I think I slide tackled some 350-pound guy. Just completely breaks my ankle in half. And ever since then, I just haven't been able to kick a ball the same.
Really, eh?
And so I lost those perks.
Yeah.
But university was fun. I miss it. I didn't get to live out my last year because of COVID. I think my final exams were all online. That's when I was ready to just go out, and just probably missed that part. Maybe I'll go back now that it's kind of opening up today or tomorrow.
Right. This is exciting. I cannot fucking wait, dude. It's literally at fucking tomorrow morning, or as soon as the bar's open at lunchtime, I'm going to sit down in a bar and have a drink.
Yeah, and you can have your all you can eat as well.
Yeah,
you didn't have that.
Right. Tomorrow can be sushi day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
In terms of crazy things, I'm trying to think. Wasn't like I'm trying to think if there's anything too wild that I went through. The area that I went to school was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Wasn't the most lively experience. So most of the stuff that you get is you just doing like a hard drug in like a forest.
Well, that's the one thing, right? Is with the college university thing is like the best memories you probably don't remember anyways, because you
exactly
trashed for them.
Yeah, I have a few memories where I probably should have died that night. Like, just like puke all of my covers when I wake up. I'm like, I could have just not woken up.
Yeah, 100%. All right, what was the home life growing up? Families, like how you could come from a big family, a small family? How your parents growing up? Were they fucking tough on you?
Yeah, so this is where like I hear some of these other guys coming up here and they've had like these hard childhoods. I'm not gonna even fret. I had a pretty humble suburb childhood, pretty quiet, good parents. You know, Like no traumatic stories or nothing too exciting to talk about.
Bro, there ain't nothing wrong with living a fucking decent life.
Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, small family of 4. Nothing
Oh,
too
nice.
crazy.
No, beautiful.
Yeah.
Everybody still close?
Yeah. I still right now, especially with COVID, I'm just living with my rents until I move out. And then I think my sister just moved out maybe a couple years ago to the downtown area.
I moved back home maybe 6 months before COVID. So I was living in you're from this area, right?
Yep.
So I was in Newmarket area. Was living in a fucking an uninsulated cabin on my boss's back 40. So I was working for this little landscaping company. There's only a crew of 4 of us. My boss and his wife were 2 of the 4. So I was a foreman for the company, and we were doing big jobs, like 8,000 square foot driveways. Yeah, just fucking kings of different industries in Canada that were doing their houses and landscaping for. So I'm living on this guy buys a property. He's got this big ass uninsulated cabin in the back 40. I was living in it. Great for the summertime. It got fucking pretty steamy in there because no insulation. If it's hot outside, it's hot inside. The wintertime got real fucking interesting. It got so cold. So like if it was minus 30 outside, it was minus 27 inside the cabin. I had to get I bought a wood stove that just Jimmy rigged, like MacGyvered the fuck out of the venting. I would set my alarm for like basically 2 hour increments because if it was any longer, the fire would go out. I needed there still to be coals so I could wake up, stoke the fire again. Had to buy a cooler to keep things from freezing. Like to keep my food from freezing, I had to buy a cooler to put shit in. But it was like a super interesting experience. Very meditative. I've always been a campfire fan, but there's an idea of sitting in front of a fire that is almost like feeling like it's keeping you alive. Yeah, that is like a very meditative experience.
Situation sounds like it literally was keeping you alive.
Yeah, it's super fucking interesting. Definitely had to find ways to keep the bong from freezing. A lot of interesting little tricks you learn.
yeah, I can imagine.
All right, let's get into the aliens. What are your thoughts?
I feel like they have to be real. Like I don't know if we'll ever know.
Yeah.
Especially, but I like to think that they're real, and a lot of things that we know today are from them, from their influence.
All right.
I don't know if we'll ever actually be able to know what that is, or if it even.
So you're of the mentality that they've probably been here and probably dropped off some shit?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like there's maybe not within our our human years, or let's say 2021 years, maybe not, but who knows?
My personal experience in my alien story is that I know a Knight of Templar who through an ex-girlfriend, loaded family. They know this government agent guy, Knight of Templar guy, and they would bug him ask him a bunch of questions on different stuff, and he had been to Area 51, and they were asking about Area 51, and I guess all he would say about Area 51 is that they found something at Roswell, and that much of today's technology has been back engineered off it. And that's just that was my little in real life scenario where I've heard that story before of things being back engineered off it. And you hear all the stories about 50 floors below the Pentagon, whatever technology they have in that bunker is like 50 years ahead of today's technology. Yeah, so I'm of the open mind in that nature too.
Yeah, I'm scared that we're gonna find out what's hiding in there. If there ever is if this whole Ukraine thing becomes World War III, if it ever does, what's gonna come out of it?
It gets interesting when you get into I've never subscribed to the flat Earth theory, but I have an open mind to the hollow Earth theory. The concept of they're almost like being like a Middle Earth sort of thing. Not so much a Middle Earth, but like a kind of like a hole. So there's supposed to be there's some there's some documents of like Navy pilots or so Air Force pilots doing runs over Antarctica. And this is kind of when the Germans are kind of doing their come up, and they have my conspiracy story here quickly. So the Germans have a base in Antarctica that this Air Force pilot is like about to fly over, and he basically sees his base where it's just all green. Like it looks just like a fucking base built on Greenland, but this is in the middle of Antarctica.
Yep.
So he talks about seeing this base and almost feeling like his plane was like hitting like a force field sort of thing. There's documents about this base being called New Schwabland. If you the Schwab name, if you dive into the family genetics of that, New Schwabland, Klaus Schwab, Great Reset guy, or World Economic Forum guy, his grandfather. That's what that base was named after. So that's my conspiracy on the global shit, is that there's a lot of weird shit with ancient technology.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember even the fucking Israel guy came out this was it last year, and was talking about the intergalactic federation. This was like someone deep in the Israel Department of Defense was talking about being part of the Galactic Federation. It's like, oh, that's fucking interesting. But it also all plays into on the other side of the debate. We've had people come in here who are not of the alien talk, and are more so of the Project Bluebeam mindset of like the aliens are being used. It's almost being used to like bring the world together, or to lock the world down more, as if you use like an alien invasion of some kind.
Gotcha.
All right, let's get into what is the most reasonable theory to you on who built the pyramids. Is it aliens? Is it a slave class? Were humans more advanced at one point in time?
Oh man, I actually did.
Was it the giants?
Was it the Giants? I think that's the most likely. I did a project on this in grade 9. I remember I had to entertain 40, like there's so many theories. So I can't remember what it was called, but there's a theory that they built, like, people always say that there couldn't have been a ramp big enough to move these to the top. This theory is that there was a hollow ramp inside of the pyramid that they used to move blocks up to build it from the top down. So it was almost built, like the core was built and they built the outside as they spiraled back downwards towards the bottom.
Oh, interesting.
But the idea behind that one is that there wasn't slaves that built it. It was farmers that would come there in the winters because they had nothing else to do. And so they would come and help build this pyramid so they could, subsidize their income.
Yep. Very interesting.
It's not too exciting of a theory, but this was a architect class and I had to come up with probably the most, that fit the architectural.
Well, it's super interesting because I've seen some crazy like temples in, I want to say India, that are like super fucking ancient, and they're basically, it's like it's carved out of the fucking rock. So instead of building the temple on something, they fucking carved it out of like the rock. So that concept of like building top down is obviously there's a possibility for that.
It's crazy to think about though. It's so beautiful.
No, it is.
I wish we would ever find out if there's.
I mean, like the idea that those things like, how big they were then, like just in terms of how advanced we think we are now and what we build in comparison to what they did then. Yeah, it's wild to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
Into any conspiracies? If so, what is like one conspiracy that you're like you can't convince me otherwise?
So I feel like there's like the conspiracies that everyone believes, but like no one can prove. Like Epstein didn't kill himself, and cancer cure probably exists, but they're probably hiding it. For big pharma. Those are the ones that I think are probably true.
Okay.
And the more lighthearted ones, like pockets for women small, so they have to buy expensive purses. Like that one.
That's a good one. I like
That
that one.
one's definitely true. But in terms of like big ones, I think we kind of touched on one. I think government UFOs are real, and maybe Area 51 has something to do with that.
Right.
And then in terms of mainstream, I think JFK assassination was definitely very political, and not the scapegoat in that was unrelated.
Yeah, the JFK one's always my answer. That's definitely like my number one. Like, there's not a chance you can tell me that the guy that said the CIA needed to be obliterated into a million pieces didn't get offed on live TV by the CIA.
Yeah,
who we now like essentially know run the world. Like, there's enough documentaries and people that have come out and said that spies basically run the world.
Yeah. No, I 100%. It cannot be some random guy. There's no way.
Let's get into the mythological beings: Bigfoot, Chupacabra, Loch Ness monster. Which would be the most likely?
So I liked Limit Break's take on this. Is that the Loch Ness and the what was the other one? Bigfoot. I feel like they're just too big to have not been seen again, or at least some real photos of them. Chupacabras, they're small. They could easily be mistaken for anything. But I feel like I think that is definitely by far the most likely. That's
fair.
What do you think?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting one because I think I need to change the Loch Ness because I like the idea of the Loch Ness, but at the same time I don't, because it's not an ocean thing. If it was an ocean thing, then I would be more game. But the idea that it's in a lake, I don't really fuck with that concept.
It's the photo that I have is just so zoomed in, and
the Chupacabra, I definitely fuck with that concept. Just because I just don't know how you explain some of the farmers and the shit that they've dealt with their cattle and all their livestock being like basically just drained of blood. But like the carcass is like all there and fine. Like, it's like something is doing that. I don't know what it is, but something is doing that, and I don't think we know what does that. So yeah, I would kind of lean towards the Chupacabra, but I am open-minded to Bigfoot. I am open-minded to the concept of even the idea of a bigger creature being out there, because I feel like we still find tribes here and there. Where it's like, true. Oh shit, this is an undiscovered group of people. Like, we can't touch them, we can't put anyone anywhere near them because they've never experienced the germs and shit like that. So I think because of that stuff, I'm a little bit open-minded to the Bigfoot concept. But it's a huge chance to make money too. A lot of these stories, right? You just get some whack jobs that get an opportunity to make money.
Yeah, no, exactly. Never know.
All right, let's get into some of your educational recommendations. You need to educate me on some music and some art, and then we'll get into some other content. So let's start with a musician and an artist that you're a fan of.
Gotcha. So I think he's. I wouldn't say. Oh, go ahead.
The artist could be an NFT artist, or doesn't have to be either.
Gotcha. The musician. I'm gonna do a slight throwback, and I don't know if you know who this is, but have you heard of Matis Yahoo?
No.
He's a South African-born reggae artist, white reggae artist, and he has most people know a couple of his songs. I think he has "One Day" and "Sunshine" are like these two mainstream songs that hit the radio in the 2000s. But his actual music is extremely beautiful to listen to. I think he's extremely underrated.
You also type that name into the chat.
Oh, sure.
Matis Yahoo.
Oh yeah, he's like a Hawaiian-born, he lives in Hawaii now, but beautiful voice.
I love reggae.
Artist,
I'm a big reggae fan. Even my dad. So I come from like a very traditional, old school white family. Yeah. My dad, we at the trailer, he just gets down to reggae. Loves it.
Really?
Oh yeah. If he got a beer in his hand and we're bumping reggae, he just loves it.
Oh, that's so nice. There's something about reggae music that speaks to the soul.
It is a vibe, man. It's just such a vibe. Like, it is so beautiful. That Jamaica's a place I have to go. I gotta experience the culture down there.
It's beautiful. See, screw Cuba, screw the Dominican. If you want to go into a nice resort with amazing food and not too much more expensive, go to Jamaica. It's a bit further than Cuba for us. Like, Cuba's 3 hours. It's kind of nice, but Like it's so good.
Yeah.
So nice.
All right, let's get into so we got a musician. Let's do an artist.
So I like the concept of Banksy a lot. Like when I think of the idea of an artist that doesn't actually care about the profits from it necessarily, like everything is just about exhibition. I like the idea of Banksy, but in terms of actual art, it's a guy named Andy Dixon, and he uses a lot of colors in his art. I met him when I went to Vancouver a few months back, and he just said this random exhibition in the Vancouver Museum, and the art that he has, it kind of brings me back a little bit to like Sepsa's art, just using a lot of like really unique and nice colors to look at. Something about his art speaks to me, and I feel like he would do really well in this space.
You'll have to check that out. Andy Dixon. All right, let's do an independent content creator. So this could be a YouTuber, could be Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, but an independent content creator.
So it's kind of in line with kind of what's going on right now, but his name is Baldwin Bankrupt. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Balding?
Baldwin Bankrupt.
Baldwin Bankrupt. Oh, bald, like bald head.
Yeah. So he's this Ukrainian Russian vlogger, but he lives in London, and he travels like these Ukrainian and Russian old villages that used to be under Soviet control, and like just walks through these like irradiated forests and like speaks to the true people of these little small towns of 200 people that have never left since Soviet Union collapsed, and he gets like this really unique glimpse of like these small societies that still exist in these small pockets of like Balkan areas, and it's like just super cool, and you learn like all these little small things about them.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. All right, let's get into I need a movie recommendation and a TV show.
So TV show right away, my all-time favorite will always be Breaking Bad. I think the plot and acting is phenomenal. Well, I've rewatched it so many times. In terms of a movie, I'm not sure if a lot of people have seen this one, but it's called Law Abiding Citizen.
Yep.
Gerald Butler, and I think Gerald is like one of the most underrated action guys, but that movie is, in my opinion, a secret gem. It's not talked about enough.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, last one. How about a book?
I haven't read too much lately, but I think back in my university days, Slaughterhouse-Five. I'm not sure if you've read it before.
No.
It was Vonnegut. It's about like his name is Billy Pilgrim, and he's someone that was it's like an anti-war themed book, but it talks about like a guy being captured in like World War II by the Germans, and kind of like how he travels to this world called Trafalmador. It's really confusing, but it's like reads very smoothly, and you could finish it in like a day.
Oh yeah.
But it's just kind of like this. It has so many small undertones of just like what war is and how terrible it is, but like at the same time how beautiful like some things that have come from war is, and he kind of touches on all of it, but very much so an anti-war book. But it's just kind of from a perspective of someone that is clearly not in the right mind anymore due to war.
It's a really interesting concept. That idea of sometimes it's almost like it's the forest fire concept that you gotta set fire to the brush, and sometimes burn some shit to have some light on the other side. Yeah, I think even with this situation that is going on now, as shitty as it is, there's going to be a defining line at the end of it. I like to think that Ukraine's holding up, but I think it's going to send a message going forward that like, yeah, you can't do that. It's not that easy.
It's just scary because when you think about that, Russia, at least in terms of confirmation, has more nuclear weapons than all of NATO combined. It makes you realize that this old man, we haven't heard much of him in 2.5, 3 years because of COVID. Like, what if he's dying? Like, a man that has nothing to lose with 6,000 nuclear weapons is such a scary concept to me.
Yeah. The only thing is that if there's a more reasoned person in terms of, like, entire history of training and stuff, I couldn't see him doing it. Because even, like, those KGB guys, I mean, those are some serious people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept, though. That is an interesting concept. I mean, we even Scorpio and I were in here having a talk, and yeah, I mean, when you think about who that person is, like who Putin is, there's the aspect of like, could have seen this happening. You know, the idea of you're trying to put a military on his doorstep, that wasn't really going to work out all that well. But from what I've been hearing is that, and now I don't know because I don't media and whatnot, but it's from what I've been reading is that this sounds like it was supposed to happen faster than what it's going, and that Ukraine wasn't supposed to really put up a fight. Zelensky was just supposed to dip. They're supposed to just walk in, install their puppet government, and there we go. We're good to go. But because they stayed and fought, and the ruby is now fucking tanked, they're not going to be able to buy resources for, you know, a few months to keep this going. There's already talks that Russia's going to be in some serious issues, and this is where you get into, I mean, the potential of leadership falling out of other leadership falling out of love with him. And then I've heard the other side of it, where I've heard people talk about that Russia is the white knight in all of this, and that they're basically going on a raid through Ukraine of all of their, because they've got a bunch of big laboratories over there. And that Russia is actually the white knight of the Western world and is going on a big raid through Ukraine, and of these laboratories. Which, I mean, so fucking wild. The idea of that's how different realities people are living in based on the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like,
it is scary to think about.
That's a wild concept. It's, I'm super intrigued to see how all this goes. I think, I mean, it's, in the end, I think it's bullish as hell for the crypto industry because, either way this plays out, I think there's only legitimacy being provided to crypto. I think there's an aspect to the international community might be playing their hand a little too much with the sanctions and whatnot. They might be forcing a couple superpowers into making a deal through a different mean, which would, if Russia and China decide to make a $1 billion oil deal and they do it through Bitcoin, well, that causes some problems for the US dollar because it legitimizes Bitcoin, and the only thing that is legitimizing the US dollar is the military and the oil. So that's part of what I've read about the why to all of this is the oil pipelines going in through North Germany and through Russia, Ukraine. There's some countries trying to become energy independent.
Right.
And usually when most countries try to become energy independent, there's usually a slight dose of American freedom added. So I think there's a lot at play here. The story is definitely not all being told by any means. There's definitely two sides to it.
I guess we'll see it play out next probably year at this point.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think this next week gets interesting because I think if it's true that this was supposed to happen faster and that they're going to be running out of resources sooner than later, then they basically need to get help from one of those superpowers over there.
Yep.
And that's the deciding factor. That will be the deciding factor if World War III happens or not. If China steps up and goes, all right, we got you covered, Russia. Here's some oil. That's when shit goes down.
Yep. But I think as far as I know, I think China's already surprising. The people were surprised they kind of opposed Russia in some ways already.
Yeah, I think President Xi is just being smart about this. I think he knows that they've got a big crosshair on their back at the moment. And it would not look good by any means from the global community if China sided with Russia right now.
Oh, for sure.
But in terms of, I have been reading that they're getting a little more confident about movements through Thailand and whatnot, and that would not be good.
Oh yeah, I've heard they're watching the playbook. Trying to play, see if they could just take Taiwan easily. See what the U.S. world does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I said Thailand, not Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting.
It is.
But it's very comfortable. I don't want to say comfortable in our little Canadian bubble, but it's just like it's so weird to watch it from massive thing going on and doing that, like having nothing.
See,
to do.
many. I think most people would have that mindset. I'm sitting here terrified. I'm sitting here fucking terrified because I'm like, we're a tiny little population sitting on the most resource-rich land in the world. We have the weakest leadership in the world. There's 2 competing superpowers that would love this piece of land and all the resources on it. That's what scares the shit out of me. I hadn't
thought about that.
And to the point that, it was during the Trump presidency that there was apparently a very heated meeting between our government and the U.S. government about our government training Chinese troops in winter training. The U.S. didn't like that very much, that we had troops training in BC. So yeah, there's shit like that like, to me as a Canadian, I'm scared as fuck. But on the other side of things, it's like there is a bliss knowing that, like, hey, we do have all these resources. This is
yeah.
nice.
If we can trade them out appropriately,
we're not under war right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, all right. Let's do a quick wrap up on the Fantom Heroes. So we got 3,000 pieces going to be total in the Gen 1. There's going to be the Gen 0. There's going to be 3 separate mints. March 1st will be the first mint of 1,000 pieces at 7 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be between 25 and 33 FTM, and that's for the public. So this is a breeding game. So not only are you going to be doing battling, but you're going to be able to breed your warriors. So the idea of having these Gen 2 warriors is super important, because they hold value once you, if you've played any kind of game that involves breeding mechanics, the Gen Zeros hold all the value.
Exactly. Something that we haven't, I guess, touched upon is the concept of quests, which are, a unique way to get certain traits that aren't in the gene pool. And they'll be only received through the game through completing quests. But these quests will have requirements. So you need to have a hero that has the specific weapon and has some kind of specific requirements that have been met in order to enter the quest. So we have an example on the site, but it's kind of just like, there's a boss attacking a village near a volcano, and so you need to have, I'm not sure if I touched on this, but every hero has a border. There's 11 different elements. And so every hero, these elements will be used in other parts of the game. And so you'll need a hero with a lava border in order to enter this quest, in order to get this. So having a big wide range of heroes will also be beneficial in order to, have this niche entrance.
That is good to know. So yeah, like we were saying, this is the breeding. So you'll be breeding warriors together. There is a chance of mutations, which I think is really cool. I do like your breeding mechanism. The idea that I can put my hero up for a fee, and somebody can pay me to breed with my hero. And then the idea that there's a limit to breeding. I like that. And then a price bonding curve on each breed is also an interesting dynamic. So I think you got a really interesting project here. Are you looking at potentially like a burn mechanism at all?
So we have burn mechanisms for the tokens right now in terms of, anytime you do train your hero or whatever, your hero tokens don't go anywhere. They get put into a null wallet. But in terms of actually burning heroes, we've thought of different ways of, like, you could sacrifice 5 heroes to get, a reroll on a like a guaranteed, super rare gene or something, or some kind of ideas where you can combine heroes.
Yeah.
So it's something we've been considering. We're trying to find the best way to balance it.
Yeah. I think there is a bit of a balance in it. I think you want to be getting rid of a little bit of supply, because some people, like, there's going to be a lot of people that just breed like motherfuckers.
Yep, absolutely.
They just pump out breeding. So there is an aspect to, maybe not. Maybe it's just a great opportunity to build a big user base.
Yeah, it's gonna be a balance. We're gonna see. We have the contract that's done, but a lot of our contracts will be interacting with our main contract in terms of different games, and so we will be able to kind of balance different elements if we find that certain things are not going as we envisioned it. And that'll be very very community driven.
I see a question here on the forge mechanics. There is no burn mechanism, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. So when you
but it burns the tokens.
correct.
Yeah.
The only difference is if you put up your hero to be sold or to be bred, for example, you can those hero tokens will I believe go right to you. It won't be burned. So it's like another earning mechanism hero token as well.
Nice. Well, I like what you're doing here. I think
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us on.
You got a cool project coming here. Yeah, I like the mechanics of this. I like the art. I think this is a cool concept. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. I'll be minting a few of these because like I said, I like this whole breeding mechanism. You can find different strategies and shit to make money in this kind of stuff.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Tomorrow's a big day, so we're buckling up. First mint ever, so it's a bit nerve-wracking, but hopefully all goes well, smoothly.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, 7 p.m., Fantom Heroes. If you want to drop links in here again, we'll drop your website. And then I see your Gitbooks up there. Yeah, guys, go check out Fantom Heroes minting tomorrow. Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to drop this in the chat. So it's just to give you an idea of what kind of heroes are out there. We have a prod hero generation, and so you can just keep refreshing this page. There's a bit of a watermark on it for now, but these are all the potential heroes you can create.
Oh, cool.
To give you kind of people an idea of what is possible and the different iterations. There are technically 110 billion different combinations of our traits, and so anyone you see here is probably never going to be generated at mint. And in theory, there are tons of these traits. If we're only doing 1,000 originally, that won't be introduced to the pool. So if some people might get lucky and only be the only person that has a specific trait in the world, and they can choose to breed with it, or they can just lock it into their own hero pool.
Right. Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
I like this, sir. I like this even generator thing. I think that's a cool feature going forward. I think most projects should do this, just to give you an idea of what you're going to generate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's cool. Well, Fantom Heroes, I appreciate you coming in here, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for giving us the opportunity just to chat.
No, not a problem at all. I did record this one, so I'll get you